All she ever wanted was a simple chance to build a better life and save her ailing father. Desperate for help, she trusted the one man who promised to protect her. But the man she believed in was hiding a far darker truth. Beneath his kindness lurked a sinister intention, slowly pulling her into a nightmare she never imagined. What began as hope soon turned into manipulation, betrayal, and a devastating moment that shattered her innocence. From that point on, nothing in their lives would ever be the same. Meera is a young woman whose life is as simple as the tides. She spends her days gathering oysters by the shore, a grueling job, but one she shares with Isco, the man she loves. Their relationship is sweet, built on a foundation of future promises. Isco wants more, but Meera holds a firm line. She's a virgin and intends to stay that way until marriage. It's a small piece of herself she wants to keep sacred in a world that feels increasingly volatile. But that world is about to crumble. A group of protesters suddenly descends on their quiet community. The government is planning to demolish the oyster farms. For Meera and her neighbors, this isn't just a loss of property, it's a death sentence for their way of life. As if the threat of losing their livelihood wasn't enough, tragedy strikes closer to home. In the middle of the chaotic protests, Meera's father suffers a massive stroke. Suddenly, the girl who was just worried about oysters is now the sole caregiver for a paralyzed man. They have no money, no insurance, and the medical bills are piling up like a mountain she can't climb. Isco tries to be her rock, promising to stay by her side, but promises don't pay for medicine. Meera realizes that if the demolition goes through, her father dies. Period. Desperate, she heads to the government office to beg for mercy. This is where she meets the captain. At first, he seems like the answer to her prayers. He's receptive, kind, and claims he's actually against the demolition himself. He even offers her a job in his office so she doesn't have to quit school. Meera is overwhelmed with gratitude, thinking she's found a guardian angel. She runs back to Isco, celebrating this streak of good luck, and in her joy, she lets her guard down. But while she's thanking God for this man's kindness, the captain is watching her from his office window with a look that is anything but professional. He isn't looking at a new employee, he's looking at prey. The pressure at home continues to mount. Meera finds her father on the floor, his condition worsening, and her tiny savings are down to the last few coins. The walls are closing in. Then comes the captain's birthday party. It's supposed to be a celebration, but it's actually a trap. When a drink is accidentally spilled on Meera's dress, the captain directs her to his private office to change. When he follows her in, the atmosphere shifts. He's no longer the polite official. He's holding drinks and pushing them on her. Meera, desperate to keep him on her side so he'll stop the demolition, ignores the red flags and drinks to please him. Under the haze of alcohol and the crushing weight of her father's life, the captain makes his move. He tells her plainly, if she wants the demolition stopped faster, she needs to please him. It's a disgusting ultimatum. In her intoxicated, desperate state, Meera agrees. She trades her innocence for the hope of a future. While she is trapped in that office for hours, her phone is blowing up with calls from Isco. He's waiting for her, wondering where she is, while the man she thought was her savior is systematically breaking her down. The next morning, things feel different. The demolition notice is gone, and for a moment, Meera thinks the sacrifice was worth it, but the cost is starting to show. When she returns to the office, the captain's kindness has evaporated. He treats her like an object, taking advantage of her again while he's literally in the middle of a business meeting on his computer. The moment he's done, he flips a switch. He becomes cold, aggressive, and kicks her out, telling her that stopping the demolition is gonna take a long time. The realization starts to sink in. He didn't save the farm, he just bought her silence with a lie. Back home, Isco smells the betrayal. He sees the change in her eyes and eventually a stain on her dress that tells a story Meera can't put into words. After years of her telling him not yet, she gave it all away to a stranger in a suit. Heartbroken and furious, Isco walks away, leaving her truly alone. But the nightmare is only beginning. The demolition crews return to the shore. The captain's promises were hollow. When Meera confronts him, he doesn't just dismiss her, he fires her on the spot. Then comes the final blow to her spirit. Meera realizes she's pregnant. When she goes to the captain, hoping for some shred of humanity, he laughs in her face. He accuses her of trying to pin another man's baby on him and has her thrown out. But he doesn't stop there. Fearing she might become a liability, he orders his men to take care of her and her father permanently. Meera, unaware of the hit out on her, tries one last time to reconcile with Isco. They spend a night together on a boat, a brief moment of misplaced hope where she tries to reclaim some part of her old life. But when she wakes up, Isco is gone. He's vanished, unable to live with the ghost of who she used to be. She walks back to her house, feeling the ultimate sting of abandonment, only to find the door swinging open. Inside, her father, the man she sacrificed everything to save, has been brutally murdered. In that moment, the innocent girl who gathered oysters dies too. In her place is someone who has nothing left to lose. She heads back to the office, not to beg, but to confront. She meets Anna, the captain's assistant, who has been quietly watching the captain's cruelty for years. Seeing Meera's broken state, Anna takes her in, but they aren't just mourning, they are plotting. They realize they share a common enemy, and together, they craft a plan that is as poetic as it is lethal. Days later, Anna walks into the captain's office with a gift, a bowl of freshly prepared oyster soup. It's his favorite. He smiles, feeling like he's still the king of his little mountain, and takes a deep, greedy swallow. But the soup is laced with a potent poison. As the toxin hits his system and he begins to gasp for air, the door opens. Meera walks in. She doesn't scream. She doesn't cry. She just watches. She wants him to see the face of the woman he destroyed as the light leaves his eyes. This wasn't just a murder. It was a payment for every lie and every stolen moment of her life. With the captain gone, the power vacuum is filled. Anna takes over the office, and her first act is to bring Meera back, not as a victim, but as her partner. They stand together, looking out at the shore, finally free from the shadow of the man who tried to bury them. The oyster farms are safe, but the cost was Meera's father, her relationship, and her soul. She saved the community, but she had to become a monster to kill one. It makes you wonder, if you were backed into a corner with no money, a dying parent, and the only person who could help demanded your dignity, would you make the same choice Meera did? And if they betrayed you, how far would you go to make them pay? Thanks for watching.